All right, so let's talk about your party. I know what the video you shared, and I know what you wrote down, which was great. But let's just talk about it. What do you think?
It was like super overwhelming, but in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
In a really good way, because I've never been that busy with the business before. So that was good. I don't know how, I was like wondering, how often would you do one of those? Like once every 6 months?
Yeah, I think when I did them originally, I would just do them for my new coaches, and I would do one for each new coach. And I only did it for people that were building a business, and like I always say, like, could get 10 people in a room. And then maybe, like in your instance, maybe they're building and they're working towards hitting a rank. And as long as they have the network. For doing it for yourself, I think it just depends on your network. So I was just listening to one of Sarah's CDs, and she was talking about how she did these every single month. And she would just theme it something different. So she would theme it like, customer appreciation party, or it might be like back to school, back to you, so every month she would have a theme. So I think it just depends on, hi.
Sorry. Hi, all.
He looks just like your husband.
Yeah. I just cook them.
But I think that you going through that, first of all, that was like the biggest party that's the biggest party we've done. And definitely the most amount of success, which was awesome, and they're hit or miss. Yeah. I mean, you're always successful because you do always get enrollments, because of the way you can present everything. Mm-hmm. But I mean, you never know when you're walking in that door, Yeah. Who's there and whatnot.
I think there was, there was 2 people there that I already knew. Like, they've already decided in their head that they weren't going to do anything, but they were coming anyway to kind of support me anyways, which was nice.
Yeah.
But like there was 2 people that were like, just let you know I have to get going, but like they wanted to be nice to show up anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was thinking about that. I'm like, well, that's still okay. And at least it was presented in front of them anyways.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I would say. At minimum, they heard success stories and whatnot. And I think that's always normal, Yeah. There's always going to be like family or friends that are just there just to be a part of it. But we were talking about it in the car, and we were saying that you must do a good job of sharing Shakeology on social media, because I feel like normally at shake parties, I have to do a little bit more presenting the product. In other words, like usually people give me more pushback. Like, oh, I already drink a protein shake, or like, what's really in this? Or like, they'll really like, hound in.
Yeah.
And I feel like they were sold on the shakes.
Yeah.
Before they came in the door.
Hardest part. Like, people will sign up for a workout program first, I feel like, before the shakes.
Yeah.
Investment,
Yeah. So that was key. So that was good. But yes, the reason that it works, as you can see, is that you're getting people together. It's fun, and they hear stories. Mm-hmm. And you can present the product the right way. It's just so hard to present Shakeology online, right? Like they want to taste it, try it, and then you want to be able to like fully present to them how to order it, and then here's your options, and then give them an incentive to sign up, right? Like, so you get that that's totally why it works. And then what happens online is like like you're saying, we lead with the fitness program, which is fine, but they tend to buy the challenge packs more so for like the bundle. And then the value of Shakeology is never really explained.
Yeah.
And then that's why they drop off a lot of times, you know?
Yeah.
So could you do what we did for one of your coaches?
Yeah, and I'm so excited to do that because Bobby came over yesterday and she was just like, I'm still on a high for you from like the other day. I'm like, good. And so she went on vacation for the weekend, but we have a coffee date where Kyle will watch the kids and her and I said, you know, either with Starbucks or I'll go to your house, whatever. And then we'll talk about your list. And because again, she doesn't even have a transformation story yet. So, you know, like I don't want to overwhelm her. I've done that with other coaches where I'm like, add you to this group, add you to this group, add you to this group, you know, work on this, work on that. So I just told her, we're going to just start. I'm going to show you how to use Beachbody on Demand. I'm going to show you how to meal prep. And then we're going to work on your list of people that you know here. She's from Crystal Lake originally, but she moved up here like 15 years ago, I think. And so she's got a whole network up here too. So we're going to work on her list. And then from there, but she came to me before. I was like, I want you to host it. But before I even said it, she was like, I want to have a Shakeology party. I'm like, okay. So it's just like right there, you know, but it's just super exciting. And she's really excited about it too.
So for new coaches, I would usually do it in like a 30-day time period.
Yeah.
They don't have to have a transformation, but they want to be on the product for like ideally 14 days, 21 days.
Right. Enough.
Say, I've been on it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you teach them how to share that story. It's still a testimonial. It's a different type of a testimonial.
Yeah.
So I think that's great, you know, having a party for her. And then what was I going to say? Oh, so another thing you could do with her is you could have her do like some type of social media post where she shares that she's going to be joining your challenge group, whatever challenge group that is, and that she's excited and she can bring 2 people with her.
Okay.
So they used to call it something. They used to call it like an apprentice coach post.
Okay.
I can look for an old one just to give you an idea. But the whole point would be to see if she can get leads that may want to join the challenge group with her, with you, and for you to help her enroll those people. Okay, so that's like something that she can do. And then, I would just focus on her getting her goals. Like when you do her new coach call, which is going to be like a coffee date, it's just getting her fitness goals, business goals, big dream goals, right? And then her list and her top 10 list, and planning like a tentative party date, like 30 days from now, helping her plan that social media post. And then in the midst of that, like within the next 2 weeks or something, what you can do is help her to invite her top 10 to a what is coaching or who is Team Beachbody presentation. So I wouldn't do that the very first time you sit down with her, but I would do that within the first 2 weeks. And just so that she can start to get people in front of a presentation to see what it is that she's doing. And then help her to start sprinkling on social media just about her workouts and her shakes and stuff like that. That's all she needs to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
That's it. We don't need to overwhelm her because you're going to be building up to that party. And then I know like this is exactly what Jamie needs.
Yeah. She was texting me, again, the 3-way between her and Alice and her coach. They're texting me right now, actually. She's like, I think I want to have a shake party after watching your video in October. Like, what about September?
October. Oh my
I
God.
know. It's like a year away.
By October, you know, you're going to be doing 10 more things. It's like,
I know.
But in general, like, you have a huge opportunity because you have a local network. And that's what Marielle and I were talking about. Like it could be that it's the small town. It could just be like that it's moms, who knows? Who knows? But they definitely want that in person, face to face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what I used to do was I would have an event at my house every single month on the same day. So like it would be like let's say it was the first Saturday of every month from like 11 to 1, and I would have a new coach training at my house. But here's how it would work. So I would explain to my coaches. So you could have shake events in between this or whatever, okay? But I would explain to them the first Saturday of every month, you guys, I'm going to have a new coach training at my house. Everybody's welcome. You know, if there is new products, you would have them. They could taste and try them like your coaches. But you want to encourage them. I would encourage them and say, your goal is to come and to bring a new coach. Like every time we have this new coach training, and I will train your people. Okay. So in between those new coach trainings, sometimes I would do live business opportunity events. Sometimes it was a shake party. Sometimes it was an online event. You know what I mean? Or just I was doing, meeting for coffee with Bobby and her friend signs up. And you have an actual live new coach training event to invite her to. And it's also a push date for people to sign people up. Because if they sign them up, they can come to your house or wherever. And they have the confidence in knowing that, like, you had the confidence I was going to come and present and close. They have the confidence that they can bring their brand new people to you and you're going to train them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Those grew like every month people were sitting in a circle in my living room on the floor because that's how many people I had. And I would just like a summit or a super Saturday, like it would be like a countdown the week before. And I would literally tell my personally sponsored, just like you promoted the party. Okay, new coach training is in 5 days. Any follow-ups that you guys have, now is the time. This is an incentive. I'm going to be training your people for you. So, and then you would recruit too. And you would have your local people there too. Okay. And then even like your discount coaches that are kind of like, do I want to do this? They would come. And it was just that getting people together and having fun and then teaching like the basics to the business. And all I would teach would be goals. Like I would have the big board out. I would talk about like setting their fitness goals, having them write it all down. I would share my story every single time because there's always somebody new in the room. Yeah. I would share my vision. You could have bars out and shakes if you want. And then I would teach them how to build their list. I would teach them how to invite. And I would talk about doing a party. And that's it.
Okay.
That's it. And there'll be questions. And I would have them go around the room and share their why. And that was the very first thing we did. I would share my story and then I would say, we're going to take a minute to go around the room and everyone's going to share why they become a coach and how it's impacted your life. And every single time we're in tears by the time that circle ends because, yeah. And then you start the training from there. So now everybody's on a high.
Right.
And I actually used to make people come with their list. I used to make them walk in the door with their written list. Yeah. Oh, did I skip there?
Yeah.
So it's really simple. It's really, really simple, but it's kind of like the shake party. You're getting them in the door by saying it's a new coach training, and it is, but ultimately once you get them there, your whole goal is to help your team recruit, but also to build those strong relationships with them face to face. And you want to find like one or two people in that room every single time that are your gold in your downline. Sometimes it's your coach's coach.
Right.
And so if you have events like that and you can meet those people and you create that opportunity to meet those people and get those people started and train them, then you do create volume and duplication, and you do it really quick. So I would do like one business opportunity a month and one new coach training a month. And I did that for like almost 2 years until my house wasn't big enough. And then that's when I went to doing it online. So again, is it time consuming? Is it work? Absolutely. But like the work you get done in that 2-hour time frame
right.
is more than you can get done, like you said,
right.
in 3 to 6 months. And you're taking so much pressure off of them because you're taking it on yourself, you know?
Right.
And Bobby will feel, for example, she'll feel more confident actually enrolling people if she knows that you're having this at this date and this time, and all she has to do is bring that person there.
Okay.
You know? So I would really think about that. I know you're going to start teaching, but it will build your business really fast.
Yeah.
Okay. And then mixing in like and then still doing the shake parties or even mixing them in for yourself once every other month. And then all your coaches can invite to that. Whatever's going to work. But I think just having a calendar. And so that was what Craig told me to do. He's like, you need to have a new coach training and you have to have it the same day and the same time. And everybody knows. Right. And we did them on Saturdays for people that worked. But that alone built my whole business in the very beginning.
So the business opportunity for people that are not coaches, I mean, essentially like any even discount coaches or whatever, or new coaches, they would bring their prospects with in person and not do it online anymore, right?
You could alternate them. You could do one in person. You could do one online. You could see, you can just test it out and see what works. I just think that you have the local network.
Yeah.
And it is easier. As much as people think it's harder because it's scarier, it's actually easier. You might get less people that come, but those people are actually interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
and maybe the people that don't come or can't come for whatever reason, I would send them a video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't know how it's been for you, but I feel like when I've sent the videos lately, and again, maybe it's just because everything has been so flooded with other MLMs, but everyone's doing it still on Facebook, that it's just, like you said, going back to the basics and that's working. Like, that's actually working. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how, what it's going to be like in 2 years from now, whether that will be the way to go again, how it was 10 years ago or 8 years ago versus the Facebook events.
The bottom line is like, how do we get in front of people? You just have to look at it like that. How do I get in front of people? And you can get in front of people online and you can get in front of them face to face. if you have the network, and you do, obviously, then, and you build through your coaches. So you have a venue, you have an event or whatever, and now you have Bobby, and you have, like Heidi messaged. She is so excited.
Yeah.
She told me that my story inspired her. I know she wants to become a coach.
Yeah, and she didn't know Bobby, and she messaged Bobby saying the same thing. She messaged me yesterday.
So like you could invite her to, like to actual presentation, and like if you get Bobby to come, but you help Bobby invite that list.
Yeah, she's got a big list.
And so you're signing up people for yourself, but you're signing up people for Bobby. Yeah. And then, like I said, you're going to find people under your people that want to build a big business, and then you have them inviting, and before this is just how you do it, and how you do it on speed, because people will not blow off a live event, blow off an online event.
So when I do a presentation for coaching, like the new coach training, I might need some kind of structure of an outline how to do that. I have an idea, but it's successful. But then to present in front of people, to get like a clear outline, I know I could look at videos and things like that, but I don't want it to sound totally like rehearsed or make it look like I'm thinking too much about it. You know what I mean? So if I had an outline, I can kind of fill in the blanks from there.
Yes. You can do it. You can do it two ways. You can either play the 7-minute video, who's Team Beachbody video, and then you can just build stories all around it. Okay. So you could use that for the actual presentation, and then you would share your story, and then whoever is there that can share a testimonial on the products or the business. And then you share with people how to get started. Here's your options on how to get started. Okay. So that's one way to do it. The other way is the other way would be a PowerPoint, which I could give you that. Okay. And you could look at it and just experiment and see what you feel most comfortable doing. But it would be the same type of environment. You would have samples, you would share stories, you would keep it super casual, you would give people an incentive to get signed up, and you would always use those live coach events, those new coach training events, use as an incentive to let them know.
Okay.
So it would just be the same idea as a live event, but you have to look at the fact that who are you presenting to? You're presenting to Bobby's list. You can do this. That's how you have to think of it. You can't think of this like, and Marielle and I were talking about this in the car too, and I'm going to shut up so she can talk. But like, you're a teacher and you're not using that, Lindsay. You're not teaching. You're not teaching. Do you realize that?
No.
You're not teaching like that. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing, I would have been the teacher. And like the thing that I love doing the most with this is teaching, right? And so like that, I'll give you the outline that you're looking for. Then you take that and make it your own, and you start teaching, because that's what you know how to do. Like when you ran the red carpet, I was like, okay, who is this, and where did she come from, and where has she been?
And what we mean by that is, you without doing it have indirectly positioned yourself as a fitness professional within that community. Mm-hmm. That's why people came to your house. Yeah. They didn't come because of, and then you brought them pros that, to their eyes, they were like, okay, these girls are coming here. We all sold on the testimonials. So now you're already the fitness professional. So now you just have to continue giving them all the support that they want. And now they just want to learn how you became the fitness professional, fitness pro. So that's what you teach on. You teach on your enthusiasm. You teach on your energy. Like I was telling Kristina, I'm like, oh my God, there's like a backyard here the size of a football field. You know, like I would have people over, I would have them working out with me.
I did. All last summer I had pop-up fitness classes in my backyard when we were doing that, like the free events and stuff like that. I was doing that, and a couple of those people were there, you know.
And that's the thing. They took a lot of exposures in order to join, and that's how you positioned yourself. So now you have to turn around and do it.
But was it also because they weren't presented properly?
Yeah, they weren't. I mean, like I said, especially after like, I'd say the fall, it was really hard on me, like going back to work, especially with 2 kids, because I had never done that before. You know, I got to stay at home with Lena the first year, and with Leo, I was in and out of jobs and stuff like that. So, it was the first time I like submerged myself back into my, known career. So it was, I really struggled with presenting it in front of people. Whereas when I was a stay-at-home mom, I did it more often, at least online, when I first moved here. So yeah, like, when you're done with the presentation and then you go back and you're like, oh, I should have added this, or I should have, you're like your own worst critic, like I've already gone through that in my head. And I was kind of trying to decipher, I know you ladies talked about the business a little bit within your story. You kind of, you weave that in. And I didn't really weave that in, only because in my head, I thought the goal was to just the shakes, just focus on the health aspect of it or whatever. But going back, if I were to do it again, because I know my why, like, especially, I don't know what video it was, like with like a month ago or something. It could have been in the group or something, but it was like, I have my dream job. Like, I always wanted to be a teacher, but I'm working for a dream life. And there's a big difference because I'm making $42,000 a year, and that's not a dream life. So, like right now. So I'm working towards a dream life. And if it, so what I'm like replaying in my head, had I done it, well, when I do it again, this is what,
Yeah.
So
that's your why. And you just have to, that's what you speak on who is Team Beachbody when they present. Like you don't have to take them to where they're at. You have to take them to where you're going. And then they're going to join you to go with you.
Right.
That's hard to learn. And I just learned that.
Well, and that's why it finally came to me after 5 years. But I wasn't in the same spot in my life that I am now too, right now. So, but like that has been a big aha moment for me in the last month is, okay, you have your dream job, but here's a dream life opportunity.
And you don't know how many people are in that boat.
Exactly.
So that's your people.
Right.
Look at Bobby. Like Bobby is like, she moved there from LA. Like that's, you have a trend going on. You found your niche. Right. It's not just getting your niche to join your journey.
Right.
They're going to get on your boat.
And the shake party is just to get people there. Like that sounds really bad, but it's the draw in. And it is what we are going to sign them up with. Like the majority they're going to just sign up for Shakeology. But Craig taught me this from the very beginning. Like the reason you guys all know my story and could probably tell it better than me is because I tell it every single time, every event, no matter what the event is.
Right.
And that's because you're leveling people up of their expectations of their life, their hopes, their dreams, their circle of influence, positivity, everything. Like people don't know what's possible sometimes until they hear it from somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, you always share what your vision is, what your goals are, what your why is. Even if, we're leading with Shakeology, but you're sprinkling it in, because at every single party that I have done, there is always at least one person that comes out of those parties that's not the host, somebody else that builds a huge business. Mm-hmm. When I did obviously Krause's party. Megan White came out of that, and Allison Conradi, who's now Par. Jennifer Voss was at Allison Thornton's house. So there, I could go through the parties. Diane Zero had Patty Garcia there, and Patty Garcia just wanted the discount. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that they don't know until they know.
Right.
And so that's what Craig taught me. It's like, now that I know what gluten does to your body, I can't pretend I don't know anymore. It literally changed my view on it. Yeah. And so that's really what you're doing when you're bringing people in to a room and you're sharing your story. They now know. And whatever they decide to do with it is up to them.
Yeah.
You can't go into it looking like nobody's going to sign up for the business. They're not interested in the business. It is not your job. Your job is to go in and inspire people and give people the opportunity of a lifetime. And how you do that is you just share why you're doing this and what it's done for your life, and you invite them to be a part of it. And they'll sort themselves. But if we don't share that, then you're limiting people's potential. That is the best way I can explain it. You're limiting them to weight loss or fitness or accountability or a challenge group. You just don't know. The people that build the biggest businesses in this type of, in network marketing, are the people that are going through the most shit.
Yeah.
And you don't always know that.
Right.
You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So the odds are there was probably someone in your house that is going to build a large business. And that's crazy. And so Craig would explain that to me. So I would go into every event, and I still do. I was with Marielle in the car. We were literally getting signs, and I'm like, oh my God, did you see that? It was a sign. And we're praying on the way there. For me, it's always like, give me the words of what needs to come out of my mouth to inspire these people to make a decision to change their life. Because you're not always in the mood to share your story. We
drove by a church, and the church said, "Today is the day." And she's
like, it said, "Someday is today," which is Craig's phrase.
It's all about the church signs up here. I don't know where you saw that, but there's a lot up here that say that.
And then the other one.
It's very simple. So every event you do online or in person, and that is what you have to do. You have to get really good at sharing that one story. The story does not change. Your why might change. But I'm still sharing the same story. You realize that, right? 10 years later, I'm not talking about the latest program that I did. I'm not talking about what happened the last 5 years. I'm talking about from the minute I decided to hit the gas to when I built my business. That's the same story. So it's just capturing that story for yourself. And at the end saying, and here's what I'm most excited about. And fearlessly share what your goal is. Like, why are you doing this? What are you most passionate about? Because it's not about I've achieved X, Y, and Z so far. Great. But the only way you're going to achieve your big goal is by fearlessly sharing what you're most excited about doing in your business. Okay. So that's how you end it. How I do that now is, and the best part of this business for me is, and I share about growing up with a single mom and now being able to be there for the girls. That's how I share that part. And that also kind of lets people know, like, I'm not done.
Yeah.
Right. So, that's a good point that you brought that up, because we did talk about that in the car ride home. I think you did awesome, but I definitely would have liked you to say, this is why I'm building my business.
And I meant to, and then just when you're in the moment and everything passes. So,
no,
yeah.
it's totally fine. And I do the same thing. I go, why didn't I talk about this? And why didn't I talk about this? I mean, we all do that,
Yeah.
but I'm just bringing it up now so you can reflect.
Well, your party was the first party ever I talked about being a mom at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, why the H have I not been saying that?
Why haven't you? That's
and I never had ever said that. I think it's because like I still had that whole embarrassment like in my head, like, you know, and she's off to go to Loyola and become a neurosurgeon, so I should get over that by now.
Yeah.
But your party was the first party I brought that up.
Okay,
Ever.
I'm glad you did because I know that there was a couple of moms in that room that went through the same thing that you did. So I'm glad you did that. I think that's crazy that you've never done that before. Only because that's.
And I didn't even realize it until I heard the video yesterday. I was like,
it's such
I
a
had
huge
never
thing.
said that before.
Huge. Yeah.
I always start on retail. Like I work retail. I was fat. Now I'm thin. That's my story. And I was like, my story is missing a chunk.
Right altar. I don't know what else to say.
That's your story,
I
though.
don't have anything like.
But that's your story, you know, and it's a great story, you know, especially how you tell it now versus how you told it a couple of years ago and you couldn't barely get the words out. You know, you're in a totally different place now. But I think that Marielle is right in the aspect that, like, what people want now is, like, they want you to lead them.
Okay.
They're looking for you to just lead them. So by you continuing to have more events and inviting them to them, they will come. They will bring their friends, you know, and imagine if you could do even half of what you did every single event, it would hit your own personal monthly goals.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. All right. So what questions do you have or anything else you want to reflect on?
I definitely can be making a calendar for future events. But yeah, Bobby first, work on her list, and I'll go through my notes here. But I think the biggest thing is when I'm presenting in front, just for the coaching opportunity, just to get that a little bit structured so that way I'm kind of good to go. That would be the biggest thing because I do want to present the opportunity to people. I mean, the shake party was a great segue to it, but yeah, I want to be able to do good at that part. So do well.
Yeah, I can give you a format for that. And then,
but yeah, I kind of wrote down what like the basic, you know, you can start by sharing the 7-minute video, go from there, share your stories, a couple other testimonials and how to get started. But the business, see, that's the only thing, like I don't want to overwhelm them with like the business part, especially because I suck at talking about the business part of it. So that's the part where I need to like tackle.
You have to. So I hate doing Facebook Lives, honestly, because I just freaking ramble. So for me, if I have a PowerPoint and I have bullets, then I will pretty much stick to that. But if, you know, you get me on a live, you can't shut me up because I'm yin-yanging all over the place. So you either have a checklist on a clipboard and you have, like, if you're going to play the video, and then we just did one for the What is Team Beachbody. I opened it up. I shared my story. We played the 7-minute video, and then I had 2 slides of testimonials and then how to get started and what the options were. So if you have a slideshow, then and you set a time, you know, you're going to stay on point for the most part. If you don't, then yeah, you're going to be all over the place. Okay. And less is more. So like how Sarah outlines it in the book, you don't need to go through how, you know, all the details of like how to earn and all of those things. You're going to realize that most people, they're going to sign up for the product, the discount on the product, maybe to earns a little bit of extra income, but 9 out of 10 times they're going to sign up because of your testimonial, because of your story. It inspired them to do something. So rarely are people going to drill you on questions on the comp plan, or, like it just doesn't happen.
Right. Okay.
And if it does, it's a Ruby, and probably someone who will build a serious business if they're asking you those types of questions. But I'm going to say 90% of the room is going to sign up for discount, or they want to get their shakes for free, or they would like to make a little bit of extra income. And if you go in there knowing that, then it takes a lot of pressure off of you. You don't need to go through those details. You're talking about like her 5 points of like, the friendships, the accountability, the opportunity of our business, stuff like that. Okay. I was going to ask you something and I just slipped my mind. Oh, what happened with those 2 follow-ups that I was talking to the red-haired lady?
Lisa, I did follow up with her. I texted her and left her a voice message on Facebook. She has not come back to me yet. Okay. She's not on social media a whole lot. And she just is not a phone. Like, she still has a flip phone. She doesn't have a smartphone.
Okay. So that's probably why she was overwhelmed.
Yeah. She's like me. Technology is not her thing. But, and then the other person was the other person. Well, Renee, and I got Renee on the correct leg. I filled that out immediately.
It was the, I think she was a teacher.
It was the redheaded lady that was sitting in the corner.
Angela, and then, sorry, yes. Maria, you're sitting right over there. No, she followed back up with me the next day, and we talked a little bit, and she said, well, because teachers here don't get paid during the summertime. So she's got to wait for that first paycheck which will be like in September. Number one. Number two, she's like, she just invested into a health club where she was doing a challenge group in the health club, and she's finishing up that challenge group. But she said she is interested in the shakes once she does that. And then I will follow up with her especially with the challenge pack and everything like that. I think with me starting to work with her, at this new school, we'll be teachers together that will also she'll get more of a feel from me too. So that could change into something more.
Right.
But that's where she's at right now.
Okay.
Amy, so she was the one that was sitting at the kitchen table. She was bigger. She's lost probably 75 pounds over the last year coming to my classes. And she's working on her nursing board. She's signed up to be a discount coach. I talked to her a little bit, and she's like, you're so inspiring. And I kind of just gave her so much. I've been giving her so much confidence. I actually been pushing her to become an instructor because she's so good at dance and choreography. It would blow your mind.
Wow.
It would blow your mind. So I feel like she's a gold for me. You know what I mean? But she's working on taking her nursing boards right now. Okay. But I feel like she's my gold that I signed up, which is good.
So I just under you though?
Say it again.
Did you place her under you though?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, she was at the kitchen table. Andy is who I placed under Bobby.
Okay.
Andrea.
Okay. Awesome.
Which I feel like is a mistake now that I did that, only because Andrea then she messaged me actually the next morning. She goes, hey, I don't know if it's my hormones, but I just kind of feel uncomfortable that you placed me under somebody I don't even know. And I kind of explained, I said, I'm so sorry. I should have explained that better to you. And I said, you still are a client of mine, and you are still a part of my challenge groups. But again, as a learning experience for me, I told her, I said, this was a learning experience for me, and I should have explained that better to you, and I'm sorry. So I felt really bad about that. I didn't want her to, because I'm not trying to you know, like she comes to my fitness class, like she's still my girl. Do you know what I mean?
She's like,
I was trying to find her, and I kind of did when I was signing her up. I'm like, you're still on my team, because she was like, I just want to make sure if Bobby falls off that I don't go into lost land. I said, you don't. I said, you go to me, and if I die, you go to Kristina.
Right.
So,
and that's what I was worried about with Renee, only because I had talked to her a little bit. And so that's kind of what I was like nervous about with her, and why I was saying not to place her.
She said, and when she wrote down she wanted a challenge pack originally, then when I did the, when she was checking out, she goes, well, I already have Beachbody On Demand. My husband already has it. I'm like, oh. So she still did the coach and the coach fee plus the Shakeology and everything like that. But yeah, it was just kind of, some of it was a little overwhelming. Like, okay, which do you want and how, you know?
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
I think I wanted to get to Diamond so bad, and then like where I'm just like, you know what, like you have to think about the longevity of where how these people want to have a relationship with. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I feel really bad. I felt like I screwed her over, but I didn't intend on doing that. Like I didn't screw her over, but I just, she just felt weird. So anyway, learning experience.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's what I was concerned with Renee. Same thing, but I didn't know the other woman. So for someone like Amy, for example, like she's a perfect example of like, if you were to do another party, she would invite people, even if she's not at the place where she feels comfortable doing the business yet, she would still probably invite people. And she might be a testimonial for you by then. You know what I mean? So like, she's another person, which is great. So what do you think with Bobby? Like where are we going to get that other coach? You know, I was thinking too, like they don't have to do Shakeology. So it's also could be like the bars. I don't know if she has leads.
Yeah. I did tell her that. I said they, you know, if they can't do Shakeology for whatever reason, they could buy, you know, the boxes of bars or whatever. Cause it's just 50 PV, right? And so when she came over yesterday, I reminded her, I'm like, you know, if someone wants to purchase bars from your site and everything like that, but, it's just getting her list together next week and then going from there. But back to Amy, for someone like that, so do I ask her if she would want to do a shake party if she's interested, or do I invite her to my new coach trainings? Well, both, right?
I mean, did she signed up for the discount, or did she tell you she wanted? So she signed up for the discount. Yeah. So I think I would just treat her as a challenger, invite her to the new coach training, and to let her know, like, if you want to host a shake party or if you want to work this as a business at any time, just let me know and we'll start working in that direction. But Marielle and I were talking about pumpkin spice is coming out. That would be a perfect party for you to do again.
Is it October or September?
It's September. September. It's like ASAP. And like with the whole fever of pumpkin spice, like it's one of those things where I was telling Kristina, I'm like, everybody needs to have a freaking pumpkin spice party.
I know.
It's one of those things where people need to share and try and like
that's a
just
good
buy.
goal for your team. Yeah. That's a good goal for your team, is everyone to have a pumpkin spice shake.
Especially in your niche right there. Like we were like, who likes pumpkin spice? And the freaking room lit up.
Yeah.
I was like, hello, here's her next shake party. And they'll all come back just to try it.
Right.
Yeah. So if you were to have one of those in September, Amy would probably invite guests to that. That's more so probably how I would work with discount coaches like that, you know?
Okay. So when are you guys coming up again?
Yeah. Think that's it.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I didn't realize you were that close to the Mall of America.
That close. I'm still like 2.5 hours away.
No, you're really not. I Googled it. You're really not. And I was like, okay, I'm like, if I ever take the girls to the Mall of America, I will stop and visit Lindsay.
I'm like 2.5 hours from Minneapolis.
But the Mall of America is an hour away from
I've never
you.
been. I
was like, why didn't we just go to the Mall of America?
I'm telling you, you could have made a whole thing out of it. I mean,
I just needed to drive a little bit further out, past Flagpole, past 111-303 Flagpole Road.
You got my address memorized. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the GPS only repeated it 30 times.
Yeah.
Where did you guys eat at?
Oh.
Did you, like, when you went down 21, did you see, like...
It was closed.
It was closed.
Oh.
And then we were going to go to the Dells, and we were supposed to get off on exit 84, but Kristina told me to get off on exit 85, and she took me down a dark road. You know that road?
Oh, was that the video you posted?
Where, like, Jason from Halloween comes out. I was like, this is why people get killed.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually was at Green Bay 2 weeks ago to visit my brother. My brother moved to Green Bay. So Green Bay is here in Wisconsin, and this is where I live. And there's no, like, interstate going like this. So it's country roads going like this. And it was scarier than hell to drive back at 8 o'clock at night. It was really scary. With my kids by myself. I didn't have Kyle with me. I'm like, dear God. But yeah. Sorry about that.
It's like it was just like pitch black. You couldn't see in front of you. So I'm like, oh my God, a deer's gonna run out in front of us. Like,
yeah, do you know we have elk here across the street from our house? We have elk here, and someone actually had an elk the other day in front of our house. A huge elk, like a reindeer. Great. And there's bear here and everything that I'm finding out.
I believe it.
Yeah.
You have bears, like as in our bear?
We have black bear here. Yeah.
Okay, Wagner, thank God you're like spitting all this now, because you would have not gotten me up there if I would have known that in advance. I have no desire to connect with Mother Nature. The most connection I do, it's like I cut the grass. I'm good after that.
That's funny. Yeah, seriously, it was like 2 months ago, and I'm looking, I'm like, damn, that's a really big deer. That's a really big deer.
Hey, Lindsay, I have a question for you. How many people did you invite in order to have that big turnout?
I invited 74 people on my Facebook. I copied the link. I don't know if you can see it. Sometimes Facebook's weird about the event. But I invited 74 people. Out of those 14 that said that they were going on the Facebook event, I had like four or five that dropped off. But then my maybes came. So that kind of replaced it because I messaged them. So, yeah.
So you invited 74 people?
Yeah.
Okay.
You messaged 74 people one-to-one?
Hell yeah, I did.
Wow.
I did like 25 on Friday. We were traveling to Chicago over the weekend, so I was doing that in the car, trying not to throw up because I get car sick from that. I was doing like 20 on Saturday, 20 on whatever it was, but I finished it about mostly on Monday night to Tuesday morning. And a lot of there was like, I would say a lot of the guests that came, I messaged them like between Monday and Tuesday as like, so maybe it was fresh in their mind or something, but yeah, I was
okay. So that's what I wanted to know. Like you did it very close. Yeah, very close to the event.
Yeah, I do that.
Okay.
Too, sorry about that.
No, it's just like you need to know.
Yeah.
And just to like kind of plan. But 74, and how many people did we have in your house? 22, 23?
No, I think it was. Excluding us three, it was 14, I thought.
No, there was more people than we would have come in. I thought there was at least 18.
Unless, let me look back at my numbers. I have to go back through my maybes list on Facebook and see if I missed anybody. But I thought 14 came. Yeah, I think I had 14, but I'll double check on the maybes list to see if I missed somebody that didn't say that they were going, but I thought from my memory it was 14.
Okay, so you need to just make a follow-up list or like an 11th hour. You just need that one coach.
I know.
Is it a coach for Bobby?
I don't want to say it's going to be a hard one, but it's a hard one in the aspect that it's under a coach. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's not her lead, then you don't want to place anyone that you would want under you.
Yeah.
So have you gone through like your customers? But then you'd have to do a coach change.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think about it. Make a list. Because you just have that one person.
Now, did you when you did the welcome post for Bobby and you tagged Bobby on it, did you go through that welcome post and look at the friends, like her friends that liked it? Did you get any comments?
Not yet, no. And I think because she's not on social media a whole lot, so maybe she's not really seen. So, and you know, I'll talk about that with her about being active on Facebook and stuff. But yeah, it was mostly other coaches and then her daughter. Her daughter's only 17, by the way, otherwise.
Okay. Okay, well, yeah, just make a like 11th hour list, you know, and see what you can do. Especially if you have people that like were interested at some point, you know, like to go back to those people, you might have to offer an incentive for enrollment. And then once you secure that, then work on Jamie's. And then from there, I would put a plan in place to just to start to get these, like build a calendar and start to put together events that you feel you can handle on top of your job and, you know, with the kids, but that will recruit and for everybody. That's the thing with doing those type of events too, is it'll help you recruit, but it'll help them recruit too. And or build belief and build duplication is through the trainings, you know?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, I recorded this.